Hi. Hey, everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene, and today I wanted to take the time to talk to you guys. We don't really have anything specific to talk about, but I can see I got my new ears on. Um, that doesn't really take much work to put those on. I just put them on and they're put on pretty easily. Well, what I wanted to talk to you today about is something that is kind of a recurring theme, and that is the issue of people who are trying to make fun of me on my channel. I'm not gonna give names because it's pointless. Um, but to say that yesterday's live stream was great, and it certainly was. We covered a lot, but the one person or persons that got involved and tried to porn bomb it really just highlights why we stopped doing the shows we used to do. You see, when we used to do the shows we used to do, they were fun. Had a good time. People had a good time. People talked about stuff and everything. No problem. But unfortunately enough, there were people that, need I say, don't like what I do. If that makes any sense. I don't know why. But there are people that do not take anything I say seriously or think everything I do is for fun. Let me assure you that I love what I do and I love being honest and doing the best I can. But please do remember that I do have to keep a lot of this stuff in my head and memorize the details and facts. One of the reasons is I don't have the stories pre-pinned on my Elgato Stream Deck, so I can just go from one story to the next. That is something that I might be exploring soon, where I can go ahead and pull up a story, pull up a script, and have it ready to go. However, the first thing is we need to answer the question, what is the channel going for? What's the goal? You know what? Here's the sad truth. I don't know. The reason I say I don't know is because, well, it's changed a lot over the years and it's still changing. The toxic people, for example, have made it very, very uncomfortable for me to do the kind of show that I used to do. We can't do phone calls anymore with YouTube because YouTube's own policies make it very, very hostile. Okay? So therefore, we had to give up the phone calls. Never mind what it was doing to me mentally, which was equally destructive beyond anything I could ever imagine in my dear life. But you know what? That is a reality, folks. It was a reality, and it does affect me every day. People don't realize that stories like mine just demonstrate why many handicapped people with multiple handicaps have a hard time in social media. And let's talk about that. If you are legally blind and you have hearing problems, let's just talk about the legal blindness first, because that is, of course, for content like YouTube, is a good question. Is how do you do it? Especially live streams. Live streams take a lot of interaction with the audience, and as such, we need to be able to read the chat. We need to be able to operate the software. We need to be able to be aware of our surroundings, especially if you're out on the street. As a mobile reporter, you definitely need to watch your surroundings. Now, thanks to things like adaptive technology, like telephoto lenses, binoculars, and screen, zooming the screen bigger and stuff, that makes it a lot easier. What is clearly still a problem is the interaction with the audience. While you're busy checking other things, your audience may not be able to be seeing this. The chat may be on the screen, but they're not looking at that. And so when I look at, this is my screen. Let me just turn it so you can see actually. Wait, just look when I get to the screen. You don't say reading the words as desktop audio. Look where my hand is. That's how close I am in OBS, just to read desktop audio. That's really small. So, clearly, that means that if I'm reading a side chat, it's going to be the same way. Huh. Go screw yourself. Huh. Oh, that's not a real nice comment to say. But what if it isn't what you're saying? Well, then I misunderstood you and made you look bad. And unfortunately, that is not uncommon. So, content creators with these visual handicaps have enough to worry about. Now, shall we add the hearing to that? Oh, yes. Let's add that to the pot. When you're doing panels on YouTube, you need to be able to clearly understand your audience so you can clearly answer the questions with proper diction and pronunciation. I mentioned diction and pronunciation is, depending on your disability with your hearing, you may have had bad hearing from birth. In that case, your knowledge of diction and pronunciation are going to be less refined than someone that just recently has started losing the hearing because, say, of old age. They have already developed proper diction and pronunciation, and so therefore for them, they are doing A1. Also, I always notice this camera is a little crooked. Shall I fix this? Can you? Yes. Okay, that's better. That's better. So, not much, but it's better. So diction and pronunciation are important. So YouTubers that need to be able to be clearly speak and express their thoughts also need to be able to clearly understand and decipher people in panels and chats. And if you have bad hearing, unfortunately, yeah, you're going to have a hard time. Okay? But I do think it's important to remember that we want to keep trying to do better content, better production, and better shows. And so, for that reason, I would like to ask you to have a little mercy because I'm trying to use adaptive technology to make my hearing and eyesight less of a problem for my production. So, that's the first thing. The next thing is there are people who think I'm basically a clown. What? What would you say that? I'm not a clown? I mean, a clown doesn't do the kind of work I do. After all, just being a slapstick comedian does not involve the kind of technology that I have. It really doesn't. Well, there are some questions I asked Sherry Jackson, and I'm going to ask my audience the same questions. So let me get the questions out on the screen here for you. And so let's see, where did I put it? Sent mail. The messages are very simple. I said, I have a few unusual questions. 1. Why does it seem that I am so disliked on YouTube? 2. Why am I so disliked in real life by so many? 3. How do we change that? How do the cards offer any solution to this? 4. Why are so many afraid to donate to my channel? And kind of an extra, and this is why I asked Sherry Jackson. 5. Should I do my tarot card readings? If so, where should I do them? On the desk or in my kitchen table? I ask the cars that one. I would love to see the answer. Now, let's go back to the first question. Let's clarify that. Why does it seem I am so disliked on YouTube? Well, the reason I ask that is given what happened yesterday, clearly someone realized that the show was a very wonderful show, that we were going to get a chance to go for a tour and explore my home, my old neighborhood. And yet, right then, is Stan is showing you the decrepit nature of Carrie Hill. Everybody decided to show pornography, and was one of the people claiming to be Noodles. It wasn't Noodles. We know it was not Noodles. And the question is, why? Why did they do that? Besides being jerks. But then those same jerks are ones that ruined the YouTube night shows for other people. That's why we don't do them on YouTube anymore. I knew when I was trying to demonstrate the problem with the closed captioning that Chrome does, that since I did end up showing the link for the old panel of QEQ, that we knew that it was going to end up being exposed. It wasn't. I forgot to write down none of your damn business. But the fact of the matter is here we go, folks. We now demonstrate why the thing didn't, work. Instead of basically quietly, respectfully watching the video and having a good time enjoying the tour, these people have decided that they had to turn the show into something for them. And it didn't exactly go well with the rest of the audience, who clearly were really enjoying the chance to see one of my old home areas. So therefore, what did they gain by that? I don't know. I just don't understand their mentality. I guess that's the biggest problem, is I don't understand their mentality. The second question is, why am I so disliked IRL by so many? Let me explain when I say by so many. I don't have a lot of people I talk to. I tend to stay to myself. Part of the reason is because of a hearing, but also because it's kind of hard for me to get around nowadays because of my disabilities. I don't have a car. I don't have a mobility scooter. And even if I had a mobility scooter, the first thing is, as we've mentioned this many times before, is where are you going to park it? Where are you going to park it? Just leave it at that. So I don't have a large crowd. And the ones I have met, like at the Open Door Soup Kitchen in the past, many of them didn't say they don't like me. Many of them just avoided me. But avoidance implies something too. It implies that there's something about you that they're avoiding. I don't know what it is, and I have no clue. So we were talking about yesterday on the video is, could there have been something in my past, such as residual karma, that could have resulted in this happening? I don't know. What did I do? I have no clue. And if you have a clue or have an idea, please post it in the comment section below there. And that way I can at least, I know. That's the middle finger. Well, I guess in this case, there. That would be better for you. It still doesn't matter. The comment section below will hear as where I'd like to see some help. Some people give advice or suggestions. I'll read them. But please understand that not everything can be applied. I will try. So tonight we have the Silverman Radio 1610. Just to show you, I already got today's record collection all set to go. I try to pick some old classics, some new classics, to provide entertainment for everybody. So, just let you know that. Okay? Got a lot of good music coming up tonight. And, that's it. So, guys, that's it for now. But if you could help me answer those questions, I really would love to hear the answers. And please don't be afraid to ever give a donation. Even in the video, you can give a donation as a super chat, or a super thanks or super sticker. So if you ever want to donate, even in the video, please do. There's a $sign that you can use for donations as well. But for now, talk to you later. Bye bye.